Yes, good evening, and thank you for tuning in to another week with Fathers Who Care. And as always, it's a pleasure to be back on the show again, and actually it's a pleasure to be in the land of the living, considering all the things that's going around and about in this city of Chicago. But listen, we're so thankful that God has looked beyond our faults and saw our needs and given us yet one more opportunity to be a blessing to the least of them. So as always, our show is basically tailored to enlighten, engage, and to empower the least of them. And so let me just get on to because I want to get my guests in, and I want to talk about something that I think is extremely important today. But of course, you know that our theme here at Fathers Who Care is any man that's physically capable can make a baby, but it takes a real man to be a father. And we just believe at Fathers Who Care that teamwork can make the dream work. And so with that, we want to talk specifically tonight on entrepreneurship, economic development. How can we engage our people in our community to stop just depending on the job and create a job? We understand sometimes, folks just want to work, and it's okay with me. But if you work, you be just working. So we're hoping to kind of inspire some folks tonight. Not that we have a problem with folks with jobs. We want you to work as long as you want to work. But for those who are a little bit more creative, a little bit more intuitive, and those who may want to take upon themselves the opportunity of creating some of their own desires or building up their own businesses, we want to talk about that tonight. And we're going to talk to our guest in a minute. Of course, you can see most of you probably already know our guest, but we'll introduce Otis in a little while, and we're going to talk specifically about boot camps, the small business boot camp, entrepreneurship, all kind of good stuff in a minute. But let me just give you an overview. Listen, we at Fathers Who Care believe that we can dispel all of those negative myths about African American men in the lives of their children. We believe men can be what they need to be if they're provided the resources to be what they need to be. We also believe that any man that put the effort, just keep trying. If you keep trying, I guarantee you'll make it. It's hard by the yard, but it's a cinch by the inch. So if you just keep trying just a little bit, it might be kind of hard, it might be a little difficult, but before you know it, you be accomplishing those things that you sought out to. But if you do nothing, you get nothing. Nothing from nothing, Otis, leaves nothing. So we're not talking about nothing today. We're dispelling all of the negative myths. We know that all things are possible. We'll let you know right now you have not because you ask not, because you're not trying. We're trying to tell you tonight, you're in charge of your own destiny. And as we get to talking tonight about entrepreneurship, talking about starting up businesses, talking about how to do a business plan, it's on you. Now, if you don't want to do it, it's on you, but do not come to my office not one more time telling me you want a job. Don't come to my office, because I'm going to tell you, if you come to my office, I'm going to tell you, let's go over to Home Depot, and I'm going to help you purchase a lawnmower, and I'm going to help you purchase a snowblower, and you're going to be working for me, all right? You're going to be blowing snow in the winter, and cutting grass in the summer, and we're going to get that money. We're going to get that money. But listen, anyway, let me get on to the show. Of course, Fathers Who Cares on Channel 21. Our number here is 312-738-1060. The number is 312-738-1060. Hey, Amari, I love you, man. You're one of the best I know. Sylvia, Barbara, thank you all for the work that you're doing. You guys need to come down on 1300 on Woods and look at this state-of-the-art facility. I am telling you, it is a place to see. And we encourage those of you who are interested in bringing out your young folks, getting your young folks acclimated to this type of venue and this outlet of expression, should we say public access. So just come on down 1300 West Woods and you'll get a chance to see what's going on this side of town. But listen, let me get on to my guest this evening. Of course, my guest this evening is one of my friends, a dear friend of mine. His name is Otis Monroe from the Monroe Foundation. And what I like to do, Otis, I would like to talk to you specifically tonight about how can we engage our community in economic development, community organizing, civil engagement, and how to become an entrepreneur.
Sure.
All right. But Otis, before we get there, tell us a little bit about you, Otis. I know that you're the CEO of the Monroe Foundation, right? But Otis, tell us, who are you? And what is your purpose, Otis, for existing? Would you share that with us?
Well, who is Otis Monroe? Well,
Yes.
good evening, Mr. Jones. Thank you for having me on the show.
My pleasure.
I am a 30-year community organizer, community advocate, and I was trained by the late Gelson Carter, who hails from the West Side. She's often referred to as the mother of the Community Reinvestment Act,
Right.
or often known as CRA. And CRA is a law, now 33 years old, that required banks to reinvest in their communities. But I am a community organizer. I'm also an ordained minister, part of Austin, in the Austin Community Church with the late Reverend Dr. Lewis Flowers, who passed about 4 years.
One of our buddies.
Man, wonderful man of God, and a wonderful servant leader who loved the children of Chicago and was very much involved in the Austin community on educational issues.
And Austin High School.
And Austin High School. And
the West Side Ministers Association.
The West Side Ministers Coalition and Austin what became the Austin Academy as a result of his advocacy. So I find it often challenging to talk about myself.
Which we're going to try tonight.
Well, we'll
try just a little bit more.
Just a little bit more.
So you kind of gave us a little history of where you come from, some of your mentors, and who kind of inspired you and guided you. But what is your purpose, Otis? What is your purpose? We understand about the CRA. We understand about trying to get banks involved. And you do a yeoman's job, trust me. I don't know very many folks who deal with the banks like you do. All right, literally I don't, all right? Because you always own them, all right? But I know what you own regarding the CRA, making sure that they're investing in the community.
Correct.
Making sure they understand that they have a responsibility to invest in the community. But Otis, who are you? I mean, what is your purpose? What drives you? Oh, how about that? What drives you?
I think what drives me is I started the Monroe Foundation. I have to start from there because I personally felt I was smarter than the average bear. I'm just going to be very honest. I thought I was, as to quote, Yogi Bear, I thought I was the smarter than the average bear. And what I mean by that, not by perceived self-arrogance, but what I felt.
How about confident?
Well, confidence. Confidence, but a vision too. And a belief that at 30 years ago, I felt that part of the reason that there was despair and apathy in the African American community was not just because of white people keeping us down, but from my viewpoint, I saw more African American leaders at that time
keeping each other down
and selling us a bill of goods to continue to get elected and reelected, and the condition never changed. And I felt and believed that there had to be a better way, and that better way had to be sought out through those that had no agenda other than to serve, and to serve without compensation, to serve without being recognized, just do the work. And so I felt led, quite honestly, by God, that needed to be the work of an Otis Monroe. Since I felt that way, I have to believe he instilled that in me.
If it is to be, it must begin with me.
It must begin with me.
Right.
So my passion is that advocacy and capacity building and bringing opportunity to meet opportunity.
Now, and I like that. And I mean, you're so humble, man, and that I know where your heart is at. And I'm just hitting you to just try to get you to talk personally about yourself, but I know you're gonna waver from that every chance you get because of your service to what you do. So let's just cut through the chase and let's get on to this business. All right. First of all, I know most of us who subscribe ourselves to being laborers in the vineyard, or those who say that we're ministers, which is no more than just saying we're servants.
Right.
All right. We do what we do because somebody got to do it.
Right.
We do what we have to do because if it don't happen, then we look at ourselves like saying, "Well, Dan, why didn't you do it?"
Right.
If you knew it needed to be done, then why didn't you do it?
Right.
That's the way I look at it.
I agree.
So I take it that way. But Otis, let's get into what is the Monroe Foundation. And while we're talking about the Monroe Foundation, something just hit me quickly. There's a boot camp, a small business boot camp scheduled for July 30th. I think it's Saturday. Yeah, it's Saturday.
Right.
Actually, I think I got something on. Let me just see, Otis. Let me see. Yeah, it's the entrepreneur, business startup, local business owners Small Business Boot Camp that's being hosted by the Monroe Foundation.
Right.
It's an information session that will be held on Saturday, July 30th at 10 o'clock, correct?
9:30.
At 9:30.
At the Austin Town Hall.
So we're expecting folks in at 9:30, right?
Right.
So what we're doing now, this is to teach people, people will learn how to do a business plan, learn about how to get loans and all that good. So Otis, why don't you do this here for the purpose of clarity? Tell us what is the Monroe Foundation?
Sure.
And then roll that over to telling us what's going on Saturday.
Sure.
Okay, would you do that?
Right. The Monroe Foundation is a 25-year-old community reinvestment and public policy advocacy organization. So what we have been doing for 25 years is identifying community needs and how to get financial institutions and foundations too to invest in those communities. So the Small Business Boot Camp is the Monroe Foundation's 15-year commitment to encouraging entrepreneurship and supporting the expansion of entrepreneurial ideas in targeted communities. So for the first 10 years or 12 years of the Small Business Boot Camp, we ran the program in conjunction with Kennedy King College on the south side of Chicago. Last year, we started to run the boot camp out of the Malcolm X College Westside Learning Center.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's where it'd be this Saturday. No, it'd be at the Austin Town Hall this Saturday.
This is the Small Business Boot Camp on Saturday, July 30th.
Is at Austin Town Hall?
Austin Town, but that is just the info session.
Right, okay.
To identify and answer questions of those who are who have an entrepreneurial idea and those who are already in business on the west side of Chicago and want to learn and find out how to strengthen their business operational systems and then possibly enroll in the 8-week free training program we have. Free training program we have.
8 weeks of free training.
8 weeks of free training at the Malcolm X College Westside Learning Center.
Let's get started. 8 weeks of free training.
Free training at the Malcolm X College Westside Learning Center. Sponsored by the very financial institutions that we engage in advocacy with.
Like who?
Citibank, City Community Development, and JP Morgan Chase are the prime sponsors of the Small Business Boot Camp.
Okay, let's do this here. The lines are open. Call us here at 312-738-1060. How can we create economic development on the west side of Chicago? How can we create entrepreneurs? How can we get young folks off the street? And we talk about, I think in order to be involved in this particular endeavor, you have to be at least 18 years old. Is that correct? So what we're doing is encouraging folks to come out on Saturday, July 30th to 5600 West Lake Street.
The Austin Town Hall.
The Austin Town Hall. But we would appreciate it very much if they can call in to what number?
They can call 773-315-9720.
One more time.
773-315-9720. You can ask for Otis Monroe. I take my own calls. Speaking slowly, leave me a way to call you back and acknowledge that you called.
Yeah.
Speak slowly.
Yeah, you're watching Fathers Who Care. The number here again for this show this evening is 312-738-1060. We have Otis Monroe on the show tonight. We're talking about the Monroe Foundation. We're talking about the Small Business Boot Camp. We're talking about the information session that will be held this Saturday at Austin Town Hall at 9:30. And if you come in and inquire about how to complete business plans and all the other good stuff, you'll get vetted on Saturday. You'll get information about if this works for you, and then you'll get an opportunity, if it works for you, to register to be part of an 8-week boot camp. Now tell us what is about this 8-week boot camp, and why should one want to be involved?
Well, one should want to be involved in 8 weeks of classroom technology-based training. Free, sponsored by City Community Development and JP Morgan Chase. If you are serious about creating a path of economic security for yourself. So this is, now let me tell you first who this program is not. This is not for somebody who is never sure about what direction they want to take in their life.
Right.
If you're on some nonsense, I'm just going to keep it 100 as they say.
Keep it 100.
If you're on some nonsense, I'm not sure, I'm waiting for a signal from the clouds, I'm waiting for a smoke signal, this is not the program for you. This is a program for individuals that believe they have a vision to go from being a chef in someone else's restaurant to becoming the chef/owner of a restaurant. And you want to learn how to put what legal structure should I is best suited for the kind of business I want to do, how to put a business plan together, how to put a budget projections together, how to actually prepare a loan application, what are the city of Chicago and state of Illinois licensing and compliance requirements, because what we have found, Reverend Jones, and your viewing audience, is that here are some of the things that keep black folks from being successful in business. Paperwork, paperwork,
Right.
paperwork. Let me say it again if you didn't hear that.
Or lack of.
Paperwork, paperwork, paperwork. Then, once you master or get past the first hurdle of organizing the business, putting the proper paperwork together, is paperwork compliance,
Right.
which becomes the lack of the paperwork. So now you end up having not paying your taxes to the city of Chicago, or the Illinois Department of Revenue, or to the IRS.
So you're going to walk them
So
through
we're going to
all
walk
those
them through all
compliance
that.
checks.
Not only how to start up, but how to stay in business.
Okay, let's do that. So let's do this here. Listen, we got a caller coming in, but I want you to start calling, please. The number here is 312-738-1060. We're talking to Otis, the CEO of the Monroe Foundation. And we're talking about why it's important for you to become an entrepreneur, how you can how you can help us in our plight to create economic development on the west side of Chicago, how we can make sure that you become a serious owner or business person in your community, and how we can learn how to do business plans and all that other good stuff by being part of this information session on July the 30th at the Austin Town Hall. The Monroe Foundation, in collaboration with other banks and others, who will be coming out to see if you're prepared and if you're ready to take part in the 8-week free boot camp with all type of opportunities. Now, I understand that they would also have an opportunity to apply for one of 500 grants, $500 grants.
Right.
So explain that. So you're going to have how many grants? 5?
Yeah, $500. What
So
we
there's
call.
five $500 grants.
Right.
And so folks would have an opportunity to apply, not only get the free boot camp or be actively involved in the boot camp, but also possibly apply for one of 5 $500 grants.
Correct.
Let's get this caller, Otis, and then let's move forward. Caller, you on the air. Thank you so much for calling. Your comment or question, please.
Yes, good evening, gentlemen. Mr. Monroe, I have two quick questions. First question is it open to all nationalities or just African Americans? And if it's just African American, why?
Well,
Did you hear him?
yes, I did. Thank you for your
Thank
question.
you so much for the caller.
No, it's not ethnic based. The only requirement we have for the program, because again, our program is specifically this year targeted to either entrepreneurship or to expand existing business ownership on the west side of Chicago. So our target communities for the Small Business Boot Camp is the Austin community, Humboldt Park, Garfield Park, and North Lawndale. So those are the targeted communities for this program. However, we will consider individuals who are outside of the targeted area, but the only requirement would be that once they complete the training, complete the requirements of the training, which is a business plan, and actually start a business or show evidence of moving towards expanding an existing business, if you are accepted into the program and you're outside of the targeted communities I just mentioned, you will have to commit that if you are awarded a grant from the Monroe Foundation, because you have a successful business plan and idea,
So is the
you will have to
answer-
agree
is the-
to
is
you
the
will have
answer
to
no?
agree to move into the targeted communities. But
Is
no,
the answer no?
the answer is no. It's,
So the question was,
not just
is it open to all, or is it just open to African Americans?
No, it's open to all. We
Okay.
want good ideas.
So we're saying to you that yes, you have an opportunity, whomever you are,
Right.
to come in and take part in this information session and hopefully be a part of this free 8 weeks of boot camp. We have another caller. Caller, you on there. Thank you so much for calling. We're here with Otis Monroe, and we're talking about entrepreneurship. We're talking about how to create your own business and how to create economic development in your community. Let's get to it. What is your comment or question?
I was just calling to let you know you're doing a good job, and we need more stuff like this in our community.
I believe that as well. Thank you so much for the caller. Caller, thank you so much.
Can I speak to that?
Take that.
And
They
thank you,
said you're
caller.
doing a wonderful job,
Well, I think
and we
they said-
need more of that in our community.
Well, thank you. I won't be presumptuous and think that was directed at me, but let's say
It was
both of us.
directed as us.
Okay, us, right.
Right.
And I agree with that. Only in the sense that one of the unique things we try to construct this program is make it tuition supported. That's the role of the banks. The banks
So that helps to make it free.
it helps make it free. We partner with the City College of Chicago, so you can earn a joint certificate from the City College of Chicago, Malcolm X, and the Monroe Foundation. But
So you get certificates.
you get a certificate
Of
that
completion.
They give you some legitimacy.
Right.
But the most important part goes back to the Monroe Foundation's 25-year philosophy in terms of the need and importance of this kind of program. It does require you to have a high school diploma. We prefer you dual enroll if you don't have a diploma. Enrolled in a GED program, but the problem as we see it, while we construct these programs, is that many of the current job training, workforce development programs, most of them federally funded, have all these requirements that have nothing to do with the reality
Right.
that people live in.
So you've
in the
taken all of that
community.
other stuff that hinders folks away.
Absolutely.
So you're saying
We try to make the program realistic to what people are dealing with in the community
But
today.
let's get to
You
it.
have another call. I'm sorry.
We got a caller, but let's talk about this after the call. We're going to take the call, and Otis, I want you to start talking to us about why we think it's important for people to become entrepreneurs.
Sure,
all
sure.
right? I want to talk about
Sure,
that.
sure.
I mean, folks always crying about, I need a job. Now, I'm not knocking folks with work. I think it has its place. But if you have the desire, the initiatives, and the spirit to create your own, we're trying to encourage that. Is that what we're saying?
Right. We want to give reason for the hope.
Ooh, I like that. Caller, you on the air.
That's Christ.
Caller, you on the air.
I was calling to see. Well, I had a question for the guest.
Okay, Otis, go ahead.
You know, like, is it possible that you could bring something like entrepreneurship towards talking to our youth council?
Oh, so you want to know if one? It sounded like they wanted to bring individuals out to be a speaker at one of their meetings.
Yeah, we have done that. Sure, just call me at 315-9720-773, 315-9720. Be happy to come out and speak to your group.
Listen, we're talking to Otis Monroe, the CEO of the Monroe Foundation. We're specifically talking tonight, and we hope you're watching and we hope you're listening. And we hope you come out on Saturday, July the 30th at 9:30 at 5600 West Lake Street at the historical Austin Town Hall,
Yes.
where we'll be facilitating a small business boot camp information session.
And I would be remiss if I didn't mention that
Sure.
we are very thankful for the support and collaboration with Cook County, 1st District Cook County Commissioner Richard Boykin, who has lent his name and his advocacy to the Small Business Boot Camp, and we want to recognize the fact that he's
of
been
course.
very much a proponent of the importance of economic opportunity.
And he's, of course, our commissioner for the 1st District, and he'll be actively involved at this event. He's given the blessing.
Yes.
But we're still talking to you guys who are watching the show
Yes.
about the importance on being entrepreneurs. And we're not saying don't work. Work is good. We think anybody want to work should work. But we think those who feel that they are not able to secure and maintain and hold down a job, but you feel you have these skills.
Sure. Here's one of the challenges in the marketplace.
Go ahead.
These programs are only as valuable as you view the importance of actually showing up at 9:30 a.m. on Saturday, July 30th. So you got the work that we're doing. You got the work that Bethel New Life is doing with their small business center, also on the west side of Chicago. You got the Greater Inglewood Community Development Corporation that's doing excellent workshops. Teamwork Inglewood doing excellent entrepreneur business development workshop. They got a business plan competition coming up over the Inglewood community with Whole Foods committing $40,000.
So tell them, why
But
is
the
it-
point of it, here's the challenge. Black people, you can't complain about the lack of opportunity, yet the opportunities are there. The problem all of us as community advocates on issues of workforce development and economic opportunity are having is black folks not showing up. So it
Did
impacts.
you just challenge that?
Yes, I did. Black folks will rather sit back and say, I'll come next time. There is no next time. If you don't come on July 30th, this is our final orientation session.
Let's go here. We got a caller,
Yes.
and we got to wrap it up in a second or so, a minute or two.
Not enough time. We're gonna
Let's
get
get
to
the
an
caller.
hour.
Caller, you on the air. What's your comment or question?
Caller?
Caller?
Thank you guys. I think he should make bring his company to other different areas in the West Guthrie Park.
No, I didn't hear that.
I didn't quite catch it.
I didn't catch it. Can you repeat that? Anyway, let's talk about this, Otis.
Yeah.
I just heard you challenge African Americans
Yes.
to be actively involved and get off their butts.
Yes. You have to show up.
You're telling them, don't. This is the only information session,
It's just that final one.
the final one, before the boot camps.
Correct. Starts
So-
on September 7th.
So we're saying to you guys, as we close down this show, Otis, I want to thank you so much for what you're doing to try to empower the least of us. I want to thank all of you all who've been actively involved in making this show a success. And I want to thank you, those who are watching the show, and I want to encourage you all to come on out on Saturday at 9:30 at the Austin Town Hall at 5600 West Lake. And I want to thank you all for all the support that you've given to our youth council, to the folks on the west side of Chicago. And I want to encourage you to be actively involved in the small business development boot camp that will be presented to you free of charge by the Monroe Foundation in collaboration with others. So Otis, we got about 10 seconds, 20 seconds. Say something in parting.
Contact the Monroe Foundation at 773-315-9720, 773-315-9720. My name is Otis Monroe.
So thank you again for all that you do to try to empower so many people, Otis.
Thank you, Reverend.
And I want you to know, listen, you're always, anytime I can be of any assistance, my intention is to be there with you on Saturday, all right, over there with the senator doing some things. But I think we have not when we try not.
Amen.
I mean, I'm saying to you guys who are watching tonight, you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. 8 weeks of free business boot camp with the Monroe Foundation at 5600 West Lake, the Austin Town Hall. It's been a blast talking to you. Thank you so much for your time, your patience, your energy. God bless you. God keep you. And see you next week.
Good evening.
Good evening.